Good morning and welcome to the new episode of Dr.Lamba's Awakening. The politics in South Asia, especially I'll talk about India, is a strange creature. It has a mixture of people of high integrity, personal and professional. And it is also, as I said, has persons who are criminals, and that's a shocking thing. And the election times are the one which are the most unstable times when the criminals come out. And it's a tragedy that the lawbreakers become the lawmakers. If you look at the people sitting in the parliament, you will find about 25% are criminals and their cases pending against them. They have been convicted earlier, but still they are there. And that's a sad state of affairs. If you look at the people who are contesting elections, you would find how many of them have criminal backgrounds. And that leads to a phenomenon of criminalisation of Indian politics. And as election days approach, the ruthlessness and desperation to get into power by hook and crook is followed blindly. If I have looked at the statistics, which are not 100% reliable, but then they might be understated. The percentage of the candidates of the criminal cases in 2009 was 15%, and which increased to 17% in 2014, and in 2019 elections, Lok Sabha elections, as reported by the Association for Democratic Reforms, it was 19%, from 15 to 17 to 19. What a consistent increase. And the dark picture comes with the data that 13% of the candidates were accused of grave crimes like rape, murder, and other heinous crimes. Let's look at the data of our parliament in 2009. Lok Sabha consisted of 30% of the MPs who had criminal cases pending against them. 30%. And the percentage in 2014 election, there were 34% MPs who had the criminal cases pending against them. And 2019, but don't be shocked, 43% of the sitting MPs today have criminal cases pending against them. Now, and these criminal cases are not only against MPs. No, I will be doing an injustice to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. They're against, they look up at any legislature, any state, and you'll find the criminals over there. And not only that, even the local municipal elections. And let's take the case study of the coming Delhi Municipal Corporation elections, which has become a prestige issue for the Prime Minister and for all the parties. And when I look at it, I find that the most criminals have been fielded for elections by a party which swears by probity, high integrity, and honesty. Of course, it's another thing that the ministers, the working ministers, some of them are in jail and others have criminal cases pending against them. The Municipal Corporation of Delhi elections are due, and AAP has paid 250 candidates, out of which 248 have given affidavits, which have been analyzed, and it has been found that 45 candidates have criminal cases against them. Not only cases, they have criminal records. Over the years, they have been criminals, they have been convicted and everything. And they are the candidates. And at least 8% of the serious criminal cases against them, which includes murder, rape, dacoity. 18% of the candidates. Now, if out of 18, even 10% went up, and they are 45 in numbers. But then BJP, which swears by probity and the culture, has got 27 such candidates. 50% than that of AAP, but still they are there. And as I said, that 18% of AAP candidates, and the party was born as a protest party to bring morality, honesty, and integrity in politics. And it's a new party, basically, a few years old, 10 years old. And BJP. Now, among the major parties, 8% of the candidates, as I said, that is 27 candidates of Andhra Pradesh, AAP, have such cases against them which are nauseating criminal cases. BJP has 27 candidates with criminal records, and Congress is not left behind. 25 such candidates. Now, can you think that when these people come in power and become corporators, they'll be doing anything for the good for the people, except by terrorizing people, indulging in rape, murder, arson, committing crimes? This year, 1,349 candidates were contesting MCD elections. Out of that, you have been seeing 45, 27, 25 candidates have indulged in serious crimes, and many of them are convicted criminals. The remaining 13, they could not be scanned because they are still under scrutiny. Now, come to the other aspect. These are criminals, and the rest of the candidates, they are not lily white. They are in fact being supported by criminals, drug mafia, gun runners, and dealers in human traffic. That's a tragedy. As a matter of fact, there have been cases when the Supreme Court had to intervene, and the Supreme Court came up very strongly on that. I fail to understand why the Parliament did not pass a law that anybody convicted of a crime shall not be allowed to contest the election, and as a matter of fact, anybody against whom any cases pending would not be allowed to file his nominations. Do you know that if you want to apply for a government job and you have, for example, a charge of drunken driving, DUI, you cannot get a government job in Canada. In India, you cannot get a government job if you have been convicted at all, even if you have been in jail for 1 day. And here, the beauty is that there are ministers, for example, who are inside the jail and conducting business from inside the jail. There was a famous chief minister, infamous I should call it, Lalu Yadav, Bihar chief minister. He was convicted of a crime, so he was sent to jail as a chief minister. He resigned. Good. But then what did he do? He manipulated, because the parties of most of the political parties, barring BJP, are family-owned parties. So his wife became the chief minister, and she was an illiterate woman, so the files would go to the jail for the honorable ex-chief minister, convicted chief minister, to deal with them, pass the orders. This is rank criminalization of politics, and that results in unethical, immoral behavior. That leads to the distrust of the people. And when the people distrust their rulers, there can be no connectivity, And when there is no connectivity, what sort of the governance would be there? These are the million-dollar questions. And I fail to understand why the writers of the Constitution, like Ambedkar and Nehru and others, did not think of this possibility, because possibly they were in a state of euphoria that they are going to be the stars of the new India and guides of destiny. And they could not even imagine at that time that the criminals would be there. But the criminals have been there right from the very beginning. Of course, the number of criminals has been increasing, as I've told you, 14, 17, 19, and possibly next time there might be 33%. And those people, for example, there was a father-son party, there is a father-son party in Punjab. Their income runs into crores of rupees. And there's everything they are doing. Transport, TVs, and so on. There's a family in Maharashtra where the father has been the chief minister and the defense minister of India. And the daughter is a politician, working politician. And her income is from a 5-acre land, crores of rupees, which I talked one day when I was talking that the agriculture income should be taxed. Now, there is a close connection between criminals and politicians. This political criminalization is a bastard child of greed, lust for power, and for the criminals to find the ways. Either they have the front men, politicians whom they purchase and who are their spokesmen, or they themselves or their children become the legislators. And the result is perversion of the justice system, the whole justice system. Can you imagine? Now this minister of Delhi is in jail and is getting VIP treatment, violating all rules, and the jail superintendent had to be suspended. But does it change the matter? No. The situation continues to be the same. And the Supreme Court of India, which deems itself to be the paragon of probity and custodian of morality, is deaf, dumb, and blind. And it's very eager to take an action when the ruling party is involved, because that brings it in limelight and it shows that, well, they are brave. But the real issue, they don't address. They address only those issues which give them the light, the camera, the lights, and the publicity. They are like butterflies which want to attract people but don't want to do anything. Most of the judgments you would find it are not such which should really be justice oriented. They are more publicity oriented, and sometimes, they're justified as well. I'm not denying it. But they, by and large, why could they not say that it is ultra virus for a criminal or for a person who is being prosecuted for a heinous crime to contest the election? And they could easily have said it. There's a law. All are equal before law. If this is applicable to the government servant, it should be applicable to the legislators. For the simple reason, to be a legislator, you cannot hold an office of profit. So if you cannot hold an office of profit, you can have a private business but not hold. So that means those people are not fit to hold the office of profit. Then how can they be people who control the people who hold the office of profit? This simple statement should have enabled the Supreme Court to pass an order that till the Parliament brings out a law, or the Election Commission should have said Or they should have asked the Law Commission long back. Even T.N. Session, when he was the Chief Election Commissioner, I had to talk with him. He says, well, if I do it, the problem is it will not be able to pass the parliament for the simple reason the majority of the MPs are criminals or have criminal connections. If they are not criminals themselves, they have the criminal backers, funders. So that's not possible. Now that's a tragedy. I'm not saying that this is not happening in other countries. It's happening. We know it has happened in South Korea, parks. It has happened in Thailand. It has happened, and Pakistan, of course, is an example of every day. They are criminals and the politicians. They are the two sides of the same coin. But is India Pakistan? Is India to be bracketed with them? If not, then assertive action has to be taken to ensure the politics is cleaned from the baneful influence of the lawbreakers, the criminals, and they are not allowed. Not only should they not be allowed to contest, but the law should be passed that anybody who receives funds or any support from the criminals shall be debarred. Because once they fund you, they dictate you. Money makes the mayor go. So one of the conditions of the nomination should be you have not been convicted of a crime, that no criminal case is pending against you. Because if the criminal case is pending against you, he might be convicted. And the assertion that you are innocent until proved guilty is not there. Well, let him ensure that this election he cannot contest, and by the next election the decision will be taken and then will be decided. Hammers don't fall. So until and unless such corrective remedial measures are taken, there will be further degeneration of politics and criminality would increase. And that would be something to be concerned about. The situation as it is alarming. Any further increase would be disastrous. Anybody listening? You are. Tell your government to change the law today. Of course, you can't do it in this election, but let it be done at the earliest, and the sooner the better. Thank you.